Several years ago, I told a friend of mine who was considering web hosting and whatnot. I said, Kinsta, other than our payroll, Kinsta is probably our largest single expense.
Okay.
It is also the least negotiable. I mean, it's like I wouldn't get rid of it for nothing. I mean, and it's just been unbelievable. To have sites just work.
Hey, everybody, it's Roger with Kinsta. Today I'm joined by a new friend, Chad. Hey, Chad, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Roger?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk with you and learn a little bit more about your story and your journey into working with digital marketing and WordPress. Can you just take us back to what's your earliest memory of working with computers and realizing that that was something that you wanted to be a part of?
Man, that is a great question. So I graduated in finance from the
Okay.
University of Alabama,
Okay.
went into youth ministry.
All right.
I didn't use the finance degree at all. I get to this church and our pastor of 20 something years resigned. Membership kind of goes down with that. The budget goes down and the church has this website that was built with using Dreamweaver, which was awesome. Finance did not teach me how to use Dreamweaver, as it turns out. Neither did youth ministry.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, we can pay some firm to come in and edit this thing with money that we don't have, or I can just try to figure something out. And so, I stumbled across WordPress. I think at the time WordPress was about, what is that? Probably 6 years old.
Okay.
And this was in 2009. So I think it was WordPress was about 6. And at the time, and as is kind of still the case, it was certainly the biggest game in town, even early on in terms of like a CMS. And so I thought, well, I'll give this thing a shot. And so I talked to my wife. I was like, hey, are you cool with me just kind of trying to figure out how to build a website? Neither one of us knew what that meant. And so probably, I was like, hey, I still have my day job. I'll just be kind of doing this on the side. And she goes, oh, that'll be fine. That'll be great, and well, about 300 volunteer hours later, we had a website up and running. And she goes, babe, you cannot ever do that again. Like, that's got to be your last website ever. And yet, that was 2010, and we're in 2025. And I've built a lot of websites since then. So, anyway, that's kind of how we got started.
Yeah.
And I didn't really plan to, I really did take her advice there, at least for a time. And then, once that kind of settled, resurfaced on the planet and our marriage and whatever again, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I was not spending all that time building websites anymore. And once I kind of taken that break, a friend that we go to church with was like, hey, I'm opening a little restaurant. I saw you built a church website. Would you be willing to build one for us? I bartered hot dogs for a website.
Excellent.
And did that. And then there was another friend we go to church with was like, hey, I've got a friend who needs a website. I know you keep building these things for free, but you have to charge these people. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess I can charge them, I guess, and so.
Twist my arm.
Twist my arm. That's right. So I did that. And that was kind of the first one I built. That was probably in 2011, something like that. 2012, early 2012, maybe.
Excellent. Excellent.
And then from there, the word of mouth just kind of carried it. And in 2014, I opened Digital Skyrocket. That was in October of 2014.
Okay.
And kind of been going at it ever since.
Man, that's awesome. So, I love, there's always, everybody's got a unique story for how they got started, how they found WordPress and stuff. And while they're unique, there are these similar kind of patterns, right? And a lot of the people, because WordPress is free to download and start working on, a lot of people start with these volunteer projects and they really throw themselves into the deep end and kind of maybe realize they bit off more than they can chew, but I mean, this is how you learn, right? And how you grow with stuff.
I still recommend it. I mean, it was a great way to do it. I mean, I guess, it has worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even as I sit down and try to I've had a few people over the years say, "Hey, can you teach me to do what you do?" And I'm like, yes, I can do that to a degree, but there's just going to have to be you're going to have to kind of like put aside the fear of failure or this like feeling of being overwhelmed. You just kind of have to jump off in the deep end
Absolutely.
and see if you can swim. I can give you some things along the way, but it really has just got to be, I feel like you just kind of have to jump in. I don't know another way to do it personally, but
No, I think, there's a saying about something about teaching a man to fish, right? And you've
that's right.
got to, at some point though, you've got to stand up on your own legs. You got to figure out how to balance and make
Yep.
something happen. And I think with working with WordPress, it's absolutely the same way. I think one of the great advantages to WordPress, of course, is the community and the sheer number of resources out there that you can just ask questions to and get help with. And I mean, and then there's the plugins, right? I mean, you've got the ability, you're like, hey, I really wish I could do this. Hey, go check the plugins out. What's your experience when you're building people's websites? Are you using a page builder? How are you building sites for people?
Yep. So I stumbled across the Divi theme, which is huge and bloated as can be.
Yeah.
But it's really been, it's so easy for me to work with. People will have different preferences on that. Some folks swear by Elementor, others, maybe Oxygen or Beaver Builder or whatever it is. But I kind of bought in on Divi probably 11 years ago.
Okay.
And when it was a baby,
Sure.
and I've just loved it. It is slow kind of out of the box
Yeah.
compared to a lot of other ones. So I started Googling around and I'm like, I need the fastest web hosting that's available.
Sure.
And that's, I stumbled across several articles that, said Kinsta is super fast, 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 fast. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to check out Kinsta. Got into Kinsta and here we are. It's been
That's
great.
great. As far as, so when you're using Kinsta, and I'm assuming, you've got the performance, the support's all there. What, in addition to that, do you really find beneficial from utilizing us as a platform?
It's just easy. And so that just that little one click, and I've loved the Cloudflare integration. That's been huge for us. Really, just kind of like there's just this continual like leveling up the performance, and that's
Sure.
really what I'm at. I'm a total nerd on the performance stuff. I love to get in and make the little fine tweaks. I like to make Divi fast because
Okay.
I'm like, if I can make Divi fast, I've done something. It's kind of like that's tough to do. And really,
Absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to the Cloudflare integration, are you taking advantage of the image optimization tools that we have within the Kinsta dashboard?
yeah, that's enabled. So we used to use like Smush Pro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what I figured out, and I've done some testing there with those two, and it's super comparable in terms of the performance that we get. And so
Okay.
that's just one less plugin I need to pay for or use or whatever. And so anyway, we kind of got away from Smush and just use that image compression there in Kinsta. That's great.
Fantastic. And the other advantage there, you're not having additional resources taking up the server with a plugin. This is all happening off of your web server and making things work really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Deleting that plugin actually sped up our sites, which was crazy. Getting rid of Smush Pro, which is a performance plugin,
Yeah.
actually sped up our sites. And I was like, what? So
Yeah,
anyway,
it's really wild, that there's a lot of different plugins like that we've built, like we built backups right into the dashboard because a backup plugin has to use your server's resources to work. And so that's going to slow down everything else. And so that's where we're really focused on, speed and performance and making sure that everything works really smoothly for you. When it comes to your clients, what kind of benefits do you see them getting with these faster websites? I mean, is it resulting in more business for them?
well, so we have seen some improvements in just rankings, because years ago there was a lot of debate about, is Google considering performance in their algorithm or not? And Google was kind of either saying no or silent. And then all of a sudden Google was like, actually, yeah, we're taking that into consideration. And so, we had a site that came to us. Somebody, it was built by somebody else. We put it in our Kinsta account, and one of the plugins they were using was an absolute just resource hog. I can't remember
Okay.
which one it was,
Sure.
but there was an update that happened to the plugin that caused it to just use this inordinate number of resources. I mean, the
Sure.
site was super slow,
Okay.
and their rankings, went way down. And so we kind of troubleshoot that, and their rankings go back up. And that's when I was like, so I mean, Google says they're taking speed into consideration, but they really are. You let that thing slow down, and it's going to plummet. But if you keep it snappy, it really does make a big difference. And so, yeah, our clients benefit from that quite a bit. It's also awesome in that their sites are they just work. Like they don't go down. Like clients don't call us because right now our company, I am in the global headquarters for our company, which is our company is me right now. And so, I'm like, what I don't want is, we've got 120, I guess, installs, 100 installs, something like that.
Excellent.
What I don't want and don't have time for is 100 people calling me every week going, "Hey man, my site's not working. This thing's broke. This thing's down. It's where's my site at? I just need it to work." And it does. And that really, I mean, several years ago, I told a friend of mine who was considering web hosting and whatnot, I said, Kinsta, other than our payroll, Kinsta is probably our largest single expense. It is also the least negotiable. I mean, it's like I wouldn't get rid of it for nothing. I mean, and it's just been unbelievable. To have sites just work.
I'm sorry to hear all that, but I'm glad to hear that, with Kinsta, you're finding what you need and that we're delivering on our promises to help you
That's been
as you're
tremendous.
excellent. As we're kind of moving forward, right? 2025, the big hype is all around AI now. Are you finding many of your clients coming to you asking you about, hey, how can we implement AI? Is there any interest from your clients?
Not a ton, not
Okay.
not so far. Now we have two. I was actually before this call. Interestingly enough, I was doing a little AI research for our only client who has asked about it. He
Okay.
operates two different businesses, and they're interested in it from a AI powered search perspective. Because
Okay.
we build websites and we do SEO, and that's really our kind of our two things. And so, he was just asking, hey, from an SEO standpoint, do we need to be doing anything with AI, or how do we need to be approaching that or thinking about that? And so anyway, I've been doing some research on it just personally, just to kind of see, because the question right now I think I'm trying to figure out is, do we want to create a bunch of content on the website that these is just going to like read, summarize, and give as an answer to whatever question somebody's asking, and they never actually get to the website. So we're just like spinning our wheels. Are we spinning our wheels creating content that AI will basically just steal and deliver up and never send anybody to our website with it? So anyway, I'm kind of trying to figure all that out, in particular on a local level,
Yeah.
with local SEO. So
Absolutely. I think
anyway.
what's been interesting in this topic, I've been talking with a lot of people about AI SEO, and one of the things that they're finding is that especially for local businesses, you still need that website because even though they get the answer from ChatGPT, they need to get the service from the actual business. And as long as you're getting your brand name in there and you're helping to build that trust, you should see some benefit out of this. I'm
Yep.
really encouraged by this. It can be a little scary and concerning because it's different and
Yes.
change cannot always be fun. But from everything I'm seeing so far is if you've got a really solid SEO plan in place, you should be well prepared for this AI type of situation. And in fact, maybe even see an uplift from it. So
Hmm.
exciting
Yeah.
times.
I hope so. On the local end, I know that I know with a lot of local search, people still want to read reviews and things like that, so they'll at least get to the Google Business Profile. So for the clients we serve, so far, most of the AI involvement that those industries have seen has just been like Q&A type stuff, but more like when it's an informational search. Um,
Absolutely.
but when there's a kind of a more commercial search intent, if you Google like, plumbers, Dallas, Texas, well, you're still getting that local 3-pack, and you're gonna click into your Google organic search results and things like that. So
Absolutely.
anyway, so far I have not seen a huge, kind of like you're saying, a huge impact on local SEO,
Okay.
but I'm interested to see how it plays out in the future with that. So anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. Google keeps making lots of changes, so we'll see what happens there. If people are interested in getting in touch with you and working with you, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, they can go to digitalskyrocket.com. There is a link on there to just schedule an appointment, and we'll just get it scheduled. I'll give them a call and we'll talk.
Excellent, excellent. Chad, I really appreciate talking with you. I look forward to hopefully speaking with you again soon. Can I have you back on?
Love to.
Awesome. All right, Chad, great to talk to you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Roger. We'll see you.